Good afternoon, Boss Chick followers and Boss Chick enthusiasts. This is Dr. Carolyn Hall, CEO and founder of Boss Chicks Empowerment Coaches. Today, I want to talk to you in this particular video blog about the necessity of encouraging others when we feel discouraged. This topic is very near and dear to my heart because this is something that I've been learning how to walk out myself. The other day, I was disappointed about something that I had a very, very high expectation about. I was really just excited about this particular thing, and things didn't pan out like I thought they would. So it was really, really disappointing for me. And I was kind of upset about it, and I had my little moment to sulk and sort of be, like, oh my God, why me? So I sulked for a minute or two. But in the midst of my sulking, I ended up getting a text from a girlfriend of mine who was going through something, and she was trying to see if I could talk, because she wanted somebody to talk to and sort of vent to about what she was going through. And it turns out that this particular girlfriend was going through a situation that was very similar to something that I had faced a while back. Now, ordinarily, the old Carolyn would have been like, girl, I'm going through things myself, girl. I can't talk to you right now, girl, because, I'm just not feeling like it. I'm not feeling like talking. I'm not up to it. I just feel down. However, the boss chick on the inside of Carolyn, which is empowered by God, knew that this person really needed somebody to talk to, and they really needed an encouraging word, right? And so I began to talk to her about her situation and tell her that even though the situation looked grim, we serve the sort of God who makes the impossible possible, so to speak, right? In fact, there's so many scriptures that tell us about God's ability to supersede anything we can ask or think, and there's scriptures throughout the Bible that talk about God's ability to make the impossible possible. So I really sort of used the word of God to encourage her, but wouldn't you know that as I encouraged her, I encouraged myself. After I got off the phone with her, it was almost like a fog had been lifted away from me. I still sort of, was thinking about the thing that I had originally been disappointed about. But for the most part, it sort of renewed my faith in telling her about this God who does the impossible. It renewed my faith because I then began to think about, now, if God can do all these things that I talked to her about, why wouldn't he do them for me, right? And so the very next day, that same friend texted me and told me about how God had moved in her situation after we spoke. I was like, oh my God, right? And not that I didn't believe God was going to move, but it just sort of reinvigorated my faith, and it really sort of empowered me because I knew that in me encouraging her, that God was also working out things on my behalf. Now, this is so important for us who consider ourselves boss chicks. It has spiritual importance, but it also has importance to our professional lives. You say, well, how so, Dr. Hall? How is this important to us spiritually and professionally? Well, spiritually, one of the things that God calls us to do is to sow into the lives of other people. Now, he doesn't say sow when you got it, only when you got it, right? No, he says that you are blessed to be a blessing. And people think that blessings are simply about stuff. No, blessings are not about stuff. One big blessing in particular that you have is your life, right? Another big blessing that you have in particular is your health, right? Because those are things that money can't buy. And no matter how much money you have, nothing can be done to get those things back, even though you have money. So you're blessed, right? And so even with that particular blessing, it then becomes your obligation to be a blessing to the lives of other people. Okay, that is how it affects us spiritually. Professionally, it affects us because we have to learn how not to be led and ruled by our emotions. If we're ever going to be the boss of anything other than being the boss of ourselves, we have got to learn how to be leadership ready. part of being a leader means that you've got to learn how to be a cheerleader for the people that work under you. You've got to learn how to motivate, inspire, and empower others even when you don't feel like it, because it goes beyond your feeling and it becomes about being a boss. What is a boss? A bold, outstanding, savvy, and successful person. I remember looking at Shark Tank a long time ago. I rarely watched the show, but this particular thing stood out to me. There was a young lady on the show, and she was trying to get them to invest in a vision that she had. And none of the sharks were biting with this particular vision. Nobody seemed to be sold on what it was that she was trying to do. And so the young lady, in the midst of talking to these people, breaks down crying. Now, these guys look kind of unnerved by it, like, what the heck is going on? Why is this shit crying? So one of the lady sharks took the young woman outside and told her, I'm going to paraphrase here, right? I'll say it in Dr. Hall's terms. She said, girlfriend, one of the worst things you could ever do in a professional or corporate setting is to break down crying when things don't go your way. She said, you have got to learn how to be strong enough to take a no, to take criticism, to take rejection, to take disappointment, and move forward in spite of. Because their no doesn't mean that it is a complete miss with whatever it is that you're believing for. It just means that these people weren't part of the vision. Well, in the very same way, when life throws us a bit of a curveball, when we become disappointed, when we become, discouraged by things that happen to us and around us, we cannot allow that to cripple who we are. Who we are bold, outstanding, savvy women on the road to success. And if that is so, we've got to learn how to take control of our emotions and really speak into the lives of others in a way that it empowers them and motivates them to do better. And that is what being a boss chick is all about. So I want you to, if you're not already doing so, follow me on Instagram at Boss Chicks Empower. Follow me on Facebook at Boss Chicks Empowerment Coaches. Follow me on Twitter, Boss Chicks Empower. And be on the lookout, because very soon I have something special coming your way. Peace. And I hope you didn't notice that piece of lint in my head. It's out.